Alright, what is going on, everybody? I am your average gamer. Now, what you're going to see in the background is some NBA 2K25, and I want to sit here and rant about it. Now, I've ranted about every previous 2K that I've played. This one's no different. But first off, let's enjoy some of these clips. Alright, so we're just going to jump right into it. So for anyone that plays 2K, and especially has played majority of them, you guys know that there's always something wrong with the game, whether it's kind of just how it's played, how people tend to play the game, or maybe it's just not as good as the previous one. A lot of people have different opinions when it comes to the 2Ks because there's so many different variations of them. Now, they come out with one every single year. Not too much changes, but it's enough to kind of keep us buying it. I do like basketball as a whole. I've played it my whole life. I watch it. So, of course, I'm going to transition it into the game. Me also being a gamer, I wanted to get somewhat decent at it. Now, that is what I want to rant about, is the skill level in this game. Now, just like every other game out there, there is a skill gap. Depending on how much you play, you'll definitely see it. Some people just understand their dribble moves more, their shot selection is better, they're very consistent, or, you know, some people might chalk it up to their build being better. Now, that is a thing, right? I've went and defended some people in the past stating that I completely understand why you would want to look up a build video, because you're, as somebody that doesn't put money into the game, it's a grind, man. And then you make a my player, all of a sudden it doesn't fit your playstyle, or he isn't as great as all the meta builds. It can be quite frustrating. One thing I want to point out, though, is I made this build day one when the game came out. That is something that I tend to do, is whatever build I make, I try to make it work. Now, I could 100% remake this build better and, you know, maybe do a lot more, but I'm too stubborn. Okay, so I'm the type of person that as soon as I make a build, I'm going to make it work regardless. And it was quite frustrating figuring out the dribble styles I wanted to use, the dribble moves, the shot selections I could take, and just changing up my play style from the previous games. Okay, now in my opinion, that's how I have fun playing the game. If you ask a lot of other people that play this game, winning is the only thing that matters, so they run the meta lineup. They run a 7'3" center with a 99 offensive rebound, and then they have a little tiny guard with 99 speed, 99 3. Just run around the court because it's really hard to catch up to them, and then they just chuck up shots, and they expect the center to get the ball and then pass it right back out to them and rinse repeat. I've seen people win games shooting, what, 6 for 30? Stuff like that because, you know, the center is just there. And depending on who you're playing with, if you don't have a big man like that, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Now, that doesn't mean you can't win. You can win with 2 small guards if you actually know what you're doing, but that's where that skill gap comes into play, because it drives me insane. You could be so good at the game, 2K is going to throw off your jumper during a random shot sometimes. Does it happen all the time? No, but I've noticed it. So Shooting perfect in this game is extremely hard. So if you're running two small guards and you miss one shot against a 7-foot center, you're being bullied in the paint for the rest of the game, and there's nothing you can do. Now that's fair for the most part if you're going to look at realistic gameplay, and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're going into the game with two 6-foot guards. Now, I do think that there are some builds that should stand a chance when you're getting posted up, because it's just super frustrating. I do believe that the centers have an advantage and that they should score pretty consistently. But if you're playing amazing defense and you're contesting them and they're taking bad shots, they should not be rewarded as much as they are. And I know most of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You're being backed down by a center, you jump, you contest them, strong or very tight defense, and they make it no problem. Especially when they have real player percentage on, meaning that any shot that they take, they don't have to time. It tends to be more for the layups. And it's just, like, at least make them time it. Okay, because the amount of people that play this game that way is frustrating. Now, you can beat them quite easily if you're good, but, if you're having an off day, now the game's really starting to piss you off. So, I don't know. I don't know how to adjust any of it. The biggest problem I have with this game is honestly the way people play it. And I've said this every single 2K. Right? I don't know what to do. I'm going to keep playing the games, of course. But how many times have you ran into the LT-L2 cheese? Where the big man just runs into the small guard, and the person on the other team is now wide open, and they just keep running back and forth, consistently doing that. You guys are going to sit here and tell me that that's high-quality gameplay? No. Right. Now, you shouldn't have to be really good at a game to enjoy it, so I do like that there are some people that don't have enough time to put into the game and still enjoy it. I just wish that there was a way around all this nonsense. Okay, I've seen people play for money in this game. That's crazy to me. I could never, especially in this game. The amount of random stuff that's going to happen to you, or facing just post scores and lockdowns and all these different play styles that give the other team an advantage to win. It's only frustrating because I know that they're not having fun. Okay, maybe winning is fun. I get that. I don't like to lose, right? But I also like to experiment with my play styles and my build and try to do something unique. Anyway, other than that, I do think that this 2K really isn't all that bad. I know that might be a hot take. I don't put it top 3 by any means, but I did have fun adjusting to it and getting accustomed to my build and my play style and trying to figure it out. You have to go through it. That's what I had to do. I played a bunch of ones trying to figure out my strengths and weaknesses and mess with my dribble moves, and there was times where I'm not shooting good at all. And then there's times I'm shooting lights out, 8 for 8, 10 for 10. So it kind of all just depends, but the one thing that I really do like about my build is how I can kind of do a little bit of everything. That is how I always make my players, is I need to do a little bit of everything because I play with randoms. So if I make a 6-foot guard and I don't miss, I can still lose if I'm not getting stops or if my team is turning the ball over or something like that. So I need to make a player big enough to get rebounds, to get stops, to kind of control the floor, to ISO. And I have post on this guy, which is kind of an accident because I didn't really know what I was doing when I was making this player in the beginning of this year. But I had the idea of, I want to post up the smaller guards, or if, I'm in a sticky situation because I can't get open, post and post fade. Yeah, I ended up getting Legend post fade phenom, and I have a 93 midi, so that definitely goes hand in hand. I don't do it all too much, but it's kind of nice to have that in the bag just in case. Alright, that's pretty much going to do it. If you guys made it this far into the video, I want you to comment down below one thing you really like about 2K and one thing that you absolutely can't stand. Also, comment down below what is your favorite 2K. You can tell me your build or your play style, whatever it is. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, sub would of course mean the world. As always, I love y'all. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.
That's in. It's green.
Oh.